There are places on Earth where time seems to stand still. Iceland has plenty of them. Step into another world. Experience Iceland through my frame. And cross a land of raw nature, celestial wonders, and a silence that speaks louder than any word. Iceland draws more and more people under its spell. Or so I keep hearing. I wanted to find out what this fascination is really about. Is it the cozy cafes tucked away in the streets of Reykjavík? Is it the scent of what many call the world's best cinnamon buns? Or is it the sheer variety of landscapes that make you feel so small? I'm on my way to discover what this fascination truly means for me. And I want to take you along on a journey to a country that's so much more than just a postcard. But before the adventure can truly begin, there are a few organizational details to take care of. Where do I leave the car? We decided on a park and ride. A shuttle picked us up at the parking lot and took us straight to the airport. We were dropped off right in front of Terminal 2. The airport was busy, but since we checked in online, dropping off our luggage was quick and easy. When you travel a lot, you know how to make the most of the time before boarding. First, I treated myself to a snack. Then I tried on a few sunglasses. Would any of them actually suit me? And finally, I watched a ground crew at work on the tarmac, bustling around like ants. Then came the announcement, boarding was about to begin. I never liked it when you have to take a bus out to the plane. I much prefer a jet bridge, but well, you don't always get to choose. I used to be afraid of flying. But the more you fly, the more that fear slowly fades away. Icelandair surprised me in a positive way. It was more comfortable than expected, with more legroom than many other airlines. The flight from Frankfurt to Keflavik takes about 4 hours. Already from above, you catch a glimpse of the vast glacier below. Arriving in Keflavik, I was surprised at how small the airport actually is. Everything went smoothly. Right at the airport, we picked up our rental car from Europcar. By the way, not sponsored, just our personal experience. And then it was time. About 30 minutes drive into Reykjavík, into the capital, into the adventure. When you first arrive in Reykjavík, what stands out immediately is just how manageable this city feels. With around 140,000 inhabitants, it's one of the smallest capitals in the world. The bad thing about that? I had no trouble finding free parking right near our accommodation. I dropped the others off with the luggage and I'm on my way to the apartment. The weather is just beautiful, the sun is really low. Oh, my lights are green, I should probably hurry across. Now it's red again, never mind. I have arrived in Reykjavík now, we're about to see one of the city landmarks. I need to hurry, cars are coming. It's just stunning here, especially the sunlight. The sun's sitting really low, or rather it shines so flat across the streets and the light is just beautiful. And there is the landmark I mentioned, Reykjavík's big church. Looks like it's currently under renovation. Not far from the church was our apartment. I have to get my bearings first, figure out the entrance, check the key and the entry code, but it's all pretty straightforward. I'm right now in the apartment and I have to say it's wonderful, really spacious, really open, the place is modern, but most important, it's clean and well kept. Besides the living and dining area, there's a bedroom with a double bed. Another one with 2 single beds is tucked beside the kitchen. The bathroom feels fresh and bright, even with its own window. The kitchen is equipped with everything you might need. With grocery stores just around the corner, we head out to grab a few things for dinner. In Reykjavík, stores are open even on Sunday. The supermarket is actually called Bonus, but we affectionately renamed it Piggy Store because of its logo. We stock up on some essentials first. Iceland is known to be expensive, especially when it comes to meat. A pound of pork cutlets costs around $8, and hamburger patties go for about $5.50 a pound. Just to give you an idea of the prices. Back at the apartment, it's time for a nice glass of red wine. And what could be better than a good book to wind down after a long day of travel? It's 6 in the morning, the sky is cloudy. And while the others are still asleep, I grab a coffee to go and set off to explore Reykjavík. I stroll past Hallgrímskirkja, which is still closed, past the Rainbow Street with all its cute little shops, and past the Icewear store with those nice sweaters. I wonder if one would suit me. I also get impressions of the government building. Iceland is ranked the safest country in the world. Of the National Bank, which for me carries a small personal connection. And the Harpa concert hall on the waterfront. More on that later. The advantage of being up so early, the streets are almost empty. The disadvantage, you explore alone. Which is why I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of my crew. Hopefully they are awake. Oh, turns out not only are they awake, breakfast is already ready. Scrambled eggs and of course another cup of coffee. While the others debate, I just enjoy the moment. Wind is howling. Clouds turn the sky a deep grey. Locals call it sulfur. Internationally, the sculpture is called the Sun Voyager. Built in 1990, its shape is reminiscent of a Viking ship. From the outside, Harpa Concert Hall looks like a giant crystal made of glass, constantly changing with weather, the light and the time of day. Its geometric glass panels are inspired by the basalt columns found all over Iceland. But it's only once you step inside that you realize just how special this building really is. Light filters through the honeycomb windows, reflecting off the glass surfaces and casting shifting patterns of shadows and color. This dialogue between inside and outside, between nature and architecture, makes Harpa a place you don't just visit, you experience it. Right next to the concert hall stands the new headquarters of Iceland's National Bank. I've mentioned before that I have a small personal connection to this project, and even though it's just a small one, it still makes me a little proud. I used to work for the Fischer Group in Germany, whose fastening systems were used in the building's facade. The facade itself is striking, made of solid basalt stone panels. Each square meter carries a weight of up to 400 kilograms, about 880 pounds. To carry that load, the engineers used a concealed undercut anchor system developed by the Fischer Group. That's a particular challenge in Iceland, where the wind loads can be up to 4 times higher than in Central Europe. That's why the expertise of the Fischer Group was essential to keeping the facade both secure and visually stunning. Around noon, we took a short kaffeekle, Icelandic for coffee break. Of course, I couldn't resist trying the famous cinnamon buns at Bruth & Co. They are Reykjavík classic and supposedly the best in town. No surprise, the place was packed. Back at the apartment, it was finally time for the taste test. Are the cinnamon buns a wow? Or should I say, ciao? After our coffee break, we head back into the city and join the CityWalk. A free walking tour where you decide for yourself at the end if and how much you'd like to give. One of our stops is the Iceland's Parliament House in Reykjavík, the Alþingishúsið. Home to one of the oldest parliaments in the world. The original assembly site was actually in Þingvellir National Park, but more on that later. Right next to it stands a small church. The Domkirkjan is the spiritual heart of Iceland's evangelical Lutheran Church and the seat of the bishop. Not far from Parliament, there's also a statue of Skúli Magnússon. Back in 1752, with permission from the Danish king, he founded a cooperative that brought the first manufacturing workshops to Reykjavík, from fishing to wool processing. His efforts laid the foundation for the city's growth, which until then had been little more than a small settlement. Next to Magnusson's statue runs Reykjavík's oldest street, Adelsstræti. Along this street stands the city's oldest house, built in 1762. It was part of Magnusson's industrial project. Today it belongs to the Settlement Exhibition, which is part of the Reykjavík City Museum. Our CityWalk guide leads us through some of the city's narrowest lanes. Snow, rain, storm. The world's northernmost capital faces extreme weather conditions. To protect the wooden frames of their homes from the harsh elements, Icelanders traditionally covered them with corrugated metal sheets. This made the buildings more resistant to moisture, wind, and salt air. And it's still what gives Reykjavík its distinctive look today. In fact, parts of the city's street and sidewalks are geothermally heated, which means Reykjavík doesn't really need snow removal. Hot water from the city's geothermal network circulates through pipes beneath the surface. While the wind wipes through the streets, we stroll past the monument of Ingólfur Anason, Iceland's first settler. According to legend, he threw his high-seat pillars into the sea and founded Reykjavík, where they washed ashore. Past the sculpture of the faceless bureaucrat crushed under a large rock, a symbol of the burdens of everyday life and bureaucracy. And two words, Iceland's most visited restaurant. Hard to believe, but this famous restaurant is actually a hot dog stand, set to serve the best hot dog in the world. Who said that? Apparently Bill Clinton back in 2004. And Kim Kardashian, she had hers with ketchup. Next, we head to the government building in the center of Reykjavík, one of the city's oldest stone houses, built in 1796. Back then, it actually served as a prison for petty criminals. Today, it's the official office of the Prime Minister of Iceland. In front of the building stand two statues. On the left-hand side, King Christian IX of Denmark, holding Iceland's constitution in his hands. On the right-hand side, Hannes Hafstein, Iceland's first Prime Minister. The last stop of our city tour is the Reykjavík City Hall, where our guide gives us a local tip, a place where residents love to go. By evening, the rain has taken over. Luckily, our supplies are stocked. And for sure, I'd like to have a nice glass of red wine. Not just a glass of red wine. A nice glass of red wine, followed by a cozy dinner. Later that evening, I remember our guide's tip visiting Sundhöllin. It is Reykjavik's oldest public swimming pool, opened back in 1937. Inside, you can still feel its rustic charm today. Unfortunately, filming isn't allowed. But for us, it's the perfect place to end a rainy day. The next morning, our journey takes us northeast. About 25 miles from Reykjavík lays Þingvellir National Park, which many Icelanders consider the heart of their nation. Þingvellir is part of the Golden Circle and a must-see for almost anyone visiting Iceland. Þingvellir is more than just Iceland's first national park. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is where it all began, at Løkberg, the Law Rock, where the Alþingi, Iceland's national parliament, was founded back in 930 AD, making it the oldest parliament still active today. As mentioned earlier, the parliament was moved to Reykjavík in 1845. For nearly 9 centuries, Icelanders gathered here together to make laws, form alliances, and decided the fate of their nation. Today, when you walk through the Rift Valley, you're literally walking on the historic ground where Iceland was born. The park lies in a tectonic rift between the North American and Eurasian plates. The Earth is literally tearing apart here, creating deep fissures, canyons, and lava fields. The most stunning of them is Almannagjá, also known as the Rift of the Common Man. It's truly breathtaking how the basalt cliffs rise like the walls of a vast corridor. Through the waterfall, the spring-fed river plunges into the canyon of Þingvellir. Its water flows into Þingvellir, Iceland's largest natural lake. And then there's Silfra, a fissure filled with crystal clear groundwater. Silfra is considered one of the 10 best diving spots in the world, and for good reason. Those who dive here literally float between continents. A loud bang. Mist rises. An eruption and the earth begins to boil. A faint scent of sulfur drifts through the air. A reminder of the geothermal activity that fuels the geysers. We've arrived in the Hákarlalur Valley. Also part of the Golden Circle, this is where you'll find both the Great Geysir and Strokkur. But before watching one of the eruptions, we take a walk through the geothermal field. A narrow path leads up to the viewing point above. From here you can see the sulfur steam rising into the air. The Great Geysir, the one that gives its name to all geysers in the world, is now almost inactive. Only rarely does it send a column of water into the sky. Quite different, Strokkur. It erupts every 5 to 10 minutes, shooting boiling water up to 100 feet high. That's why most photos and videos from the Geysir field actually show Strokkur. While the Great Geysir quietly steams in the background. Here it's not sulfur steam that fills the air, but mist from water droplets. One of Iceland's most powerful waterfalls is Gullfoss. The water plunges down in 2 stages. First 36 feet, then another 69 feet. In summer the force is staggering. The river thunders into the canyon with the weight of roughly 100 cars every single second. After such a natural spectacle and the crowds that come with it, we're now looking for the opposite, solitude. A place easy to miss. A small untouched hot spring hidden between rolling hills, almost completely deserted. Well, almost. Just a few miles before Selfoss we reach our Guesthouse Bitra. Before entering, guests are asked to remove their shoes and leave them in the entryway. You can book a double or shared room, but without bathrooms. Though the bathrooms are communal. There's also a cozy common area for guests to relax. As the night settles over the land, I let the impressions sink in. From the world's northernmost capital to the immense natural forces, and finally this quiet hidden hot spring off the beaten path. As I write down my thoughts, it feels as if the night itself is rushing past me. Armed with a good book and a cup of freshly brewed coffee, I wait the next morning for the others to get ready. Breakfast is included at the Guesthouse Bitra, and honestly it has everything you need. Today's weather feels as if those 100 cars per second from Gullfoss were pouring straight down on us. But we continue our journey. Time to stock up again at our piggy store, as we like to call the supermarket. By the way, in Iceland, alcoholic beverages are sold only in special liquor stores. And for me, the most important. Our next stop on the Golden Circle is Kerith, a massive volcanic crater now filled with a bright blue lake. One side is bare and steep, the other gently slopes down, covered in moss. You can even walk down. Standing at the bottom by the water, the crater feels completely different than it does from above. Wind, cold and rain greet us at what is probably Iceland's most famous waterfall. Here at Seljalandsfoss, the water plunges 200 feet down, roughly the height of a 20-story building. The special thing about it, you can actually walk behind the waterfall. It's freezing and my group is soaked. So the decision is made, we're cutting the trip short. It's really hard to describe the disappointment. Walking behind this waterfall had been one of my dreams. But now it's bye-bye famous waterfall, bye-bye Seljalandsfoss, bye-bye dream and hello Pakla soup. There is one upside though. Back at our guest house, it's warm and cozy, as always in Iceland. Our accommodation is located between the Seljalandsfoss and the small village of Skógafoss. In the entrance hall, there's a chalkboard listing all guests and their assigned rooms. In this accommodation is also a shared lounge with a small kitchen. Bathrooms are shared as well. One on the lower floor next to the bedrooms, and the other one upstairs next to other bedrooms. I have to admit, I'm usually not a fan of shared bathrooms. But here everything is spotless and guests are incredibly respectful. A big plus. Still, I have to confess I'm so frustrated. I can't shake the feeling that this can't be it. Iceland seems to be calling me. So I decided to head out again, alone. Would that be the right decision? The sun finally breaks through, and what can I say? It's almost impossible to put into words how breathtaking Seljalandsfoss looks, glowing like molten gold in the sunlight. This was my moment, as if I could bend the matrix to my will, as if I were the king of the world. Here begins my hero's journey. I face the wind, the cold, and the roaring waterfall itself. Just when I think I've conquered it, Seljalandsfoss strikes back. I'm completely drenched, but it's an unforgettable experience, a moment I'll never forget. But that's not all. Not far from Seljalandsfoss lies Gullfoss, a waterfall said to live hidden inside a canyon. By now, I can almost hear Iceland calling me. And I can feel it. There's more waiting ahead. "5 a.m. While the others are still asleep, the two of us set out on foot. In front of us, about 2.5 miles. After roughly 40 minutes of walk, we finally spotted one of Iceland's most iconic wrecks. It was 1973 when the Douglas C-117D of the US Navy had to make an emergency landing here due to severe icing. Miraculously, all 7 crew members survived. But the wreck was left behind, abandoned on the black sand. It's an incredible silent place. Every time I stand here, one song comes to my mind, Running Up the Hill by Kate Bush, the one Rewind in Stranger Things. I couldn't resist shooting a short here. Here's some footage from behind the scenes and a result in the link above. Back at our guest house, not only is the rest of the group awake, so are the owner's dogs. They are eager to play. But there's a little time. Our next destination awaits, Skógar. As the name suggests, it's home to yet another legendary waterfall. Skógafoss is located in southern Iceland, where the coastline once used to be. Today, about 3 miles from the sea, the old cliffs still mark the border between the coastal plain and the highlands. On average, every second, the same weight as about 86 cars crashes down this waterfall. Our next stop takes us to one of Iceland's most famous beaches, the Black Beach. The black beach sand stretches for about 3 miles along Iceland's coast. Not far from the shore, the Reynisdrangar sea stacks rise dramatically out of the Atlantic. These sea stacks are among Iceland's most striking natural wonders. From the very first moment, you understand why this place draws so many visitors. The deep black volcanic sand, the sharp basalt columns of the cape, and the towering stacks of rock. As beautiful as this place is, it can also be very dangerous. Reynisfjara is known for its so-called sneaker waves, powerful surges that strike suddenly and rush far inland. Again and again, visitors underestimate their strength, focused on taking photos or selfies, and suddenly find themselves in danger. It happened to me too, luckily not that bad, but there have been tragic accidents here. From the beach, we now move into ice. From the car park at Skaftafellsjökull National Park's Visitor Center, the path first leads towards a waterfall. After a short walk, we reach Svartifoss, a waterfall framed by dark basalt columns. Around it, shades of red, yellow, and green glow in every hue. A natural play of color that immediately reminds me of Pocahontas. But now really into the ice. Another hike begins. Past smaller waterfalls, whose water has been cascading down the mountains for thousands of years, past mosses and lichens, and through a landscape that feels as though it belongs to another world. Finally, we stand before Europe's largest ice cape, or rather one of its outlets. The glacier tongue is part of the mighty Vatnajökull Glacier, flowing into the valley like a massive river of ice. Behind me, a moon-like plain. In front of me stretches the ancient glacier tongue. You might think that the ice here is millions of years old, but it isn't. Vatnajökull formed only about 2,500 years ago. Since then, it's been constantly renewing itself. Old snow melts, new snow freezes. What we see here is usually only a few hundred to a few thousand years old. A living cycle of melting and freezing. On the way back, its white summit glimpses in the distance. At almost 6,900 feet, Vatnajökull is Iceland's highest mountain. Enormous blocks of ice break away from Breidammerkurjökull, an outlet of the mighty Vatnajökull. They drift into the famous Glacier Lagoon. Between the ice flows, seals appear hunting for fish. Directly opposite the lagoon, just under the bridge, there is another very special beach. The beach's Icelandic name, Estrifellsfjara, might not ring a bell, but it's better known as Diamond Beach. Here the ice scatters across the black volcanic sand like gemstones. When the icebergs become small enough, they drift out of the lagoon into the sea. The waves then wash them back onto the shore, where they glitter on the black sand like diamonds. We've rented a beautiful little cottage for the night. To the right-hand side at the entrance is a small kitchenette, to the left-hand side the living room. Large, almost floor-to-ceiling windows open up a stunning view of the glacier. Behind are 2 bedrooms, everything clean and tidy. The drawback? You have to make the beds yourself. In the bathroom a shower, and everything is also spotless and well kept. As we sit together in the living room that evening, it happens. First I thought it's just a streak of the Milky Way, but then I realized it's northern lights dancing above the glacier. A new morning, a new adventure. As the early bird of the group, I'm the first to get breakfast ready. A bit of fruit, some cold cuts, and a freshly brewed coffee. Who would have guessed? Breakfast is said to be the most important meal of the day, and we'll need it today. There's a lot ahead. Our first stop is at Fauskasandur, a remote black sand beach in the east, almost deserted and untouched. And right in the middle of it stands a huge monolith. Almost like a cube of stone rising from the black sand. Like a painting, there's truth but no logic. We find ourselves stranded in Djúpivar, a small fishing village. Here, we grab a light snack before leaving Route 1. Taking the unpaved side road 939, we cross the Öxi mountain pass. Our next destination, Eylstaðir. Eylstaðir is the largest town in Österland, the eastern region of Iceland. And here I find a dream, a beautiful wooden house. My favorite accommodation of the entire journey. Small, but incredibly cozy. When you enter, the dining area with a small kitchen is to the left, the bathroom behind. On the right-hand side is the main bedroom. Directly by the entrance there's a small sitting area with armchairs and a TV. From there, a staircase leads up. Here is a lounge area and we have a view to Eylstaðir. The house isn't large, but it's spotless, well thought out and wonderfully homely. There's something so special about this place that it's hard to put into words. Our group expert would say, very good, very good, very good. After settling into our cozy little house, we head out for a short afternoon trip. From Eylstaðir, it's about 17 miles over the pass. The road winds down in countless curves. Down off the Seyðisfjörður fjord lies the village of the same name. The wooden church attracts many visitors, as the famous Rainbow Street leads straight to it. It's amazing how much power a rainbow can have. In the evening, we stroll through Eylstaðir, and soon night falls once again. A dewy morning dawns over the small town in eastern Iceland. As always, I prepare the breakfast with scrambled eggs. Because the first question when eating is always, what is my protein source? Just a few years ago, this place was barely known. Today, the Stuðlagil Canyon is one of the most photographed canyons in the country. The canyon was revealed only after the river was diverted through a hydro plant. It sprays water high into the air, framed by a rainbow. It's windy, wet, cold and slippery. I'm on my way to Europe's second most powerful waterfall. Every step is a balancing act, but it's worth it. The view leaves me speechless. Just imagine that. With 193,000 liters of water per second, Dettifoss could fill an entire swimming pool in just 4 seconds. To stay with the car analogy, that's roughly the weight of 128 cars every second. I almost missed Selfoss. It lies just a few miles upstream from Dettifoss. While Dettifoss impresses with its sheer power, Selfoss captivates with its width. The Glacier River plunges down in countless small cascades all at once. For me, this natural spectacle is breathtaking, that it feels as though Iceland is leading me into another world. The ground looks like the surface of Mars, colored in red, yellow and black by the minerals. Utterly barren, not a single blade of grass grows here. One of Iceland's most famous high-temperature geothermal areas is Namafjall. Mud pots bubble, fissures hiss, and the air is thick with smell of sulfur. Around some of the vents, small stone towers have been built, so-called fumaroles, channeling the rising steam into narrow jets. Even along the road, the scenery remains surreal. Craters and lava hills shape the landscape around Mývatn. Our next destination, Akureyri. In Akureyri, several things await me that I could never have imagined. But first, time to check in. Our wooden house lies on the opposite side of the fjord. Modernly furnished, yet wonderful cozy. As you enter, there's a long corridor. On the left-hand side, the master bedroom, next to it, the bathroom. At the end of the corridor, the large dining area with a small kitchen. A staircase leads up to the living area and another bedroom. But the highlight? Outside, a private hot tub with a view over the fjord. I've always loved hot baths, whether it's an onsen or a natural spring. And beyond the forest, I discover something that seems almost unbelievable. A natural hot waterfall. Before it flows into the fjord, it forms what feels like a natural hot tub. You sit in warm water and look directly out over the town. One of those moments I could never have dreamed of. Mornings are when I wander off on my own, a lone wolf. The Akureyri International Airport is already busy in the morning. Our accommodation is not. While breakfast waits for the others, I'm waiting in the hot tub. Such a bliss. We are lucky. By late morning, the sun breaks through and bathes Akureyri in a golden autumn light. We start at the harbor where 2 cruise ships are anchored today. We browse the little shops and stroll leisurely through the pedestrian zone. At the end of the street stands the modern Akureyri Rakekja, perched high above the town, a true landmark. And once again I spotted Icewear Iceland. Those Icelandic jumpers are becoming harder and harder to resist. Leaving Akureyri behind, we follow the ring road, later Route 85. With this great big world before me. Our next stop, where the mountain sings through the screams of seagulls and where the whales can live. Húsavík, a small fishing town in northern Iceland, known for its harbor, the whales living in the bay, and its charming setting along the Skálvandi. The bay itself connects to the Greenland Sea. The town's landmark is the wooden Húsavíkurkirkja. Built in 1907, its striking architecture catches your eyes immediately, and inside it surprises with a bright, welcoming space. Húsavík became world famous through the Netflix film Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga. The song Húsavík was even nominated for an Oscar, turning this little town into a dream destination for many. I'd always wanted to visit the Blue Lagoon, but it's currently closed due to volcanic activity. Our alternative, the Mývatn Nature Bath. Often called the Blue Lagoon of the North. Unlike the famous Blue Lagoon near Reykjavík, it's much quieter and more natural here. The pool is fed by geothermal water that rises from deep underground at over 130 degrees Celsius, cools down and fills the pool to a pleasant 36 to 40 degrees. The sulfur gives the water a slight opacity and a silky feel on the skin. It's said to be great for both skin and lungs. And after a while, you barely notice the smell at all. Jewelry made of silver or copper is best let off. It would tarnish black almost instantly. There are several pools. 2 are connected by a small bridge. From the natural bath, you have a wonderful view over the Mývatn region. But not only the view is stunning, the sunset, the rising steam, all that turns the lagoon into a magical moment. For those who like it really hot, there's an upper pool that's even warmer. The cold air, the warm water, the golden sky, a contrast that's simply unforgettable. A dream truly came true for me. Another moment I will never forget. And later that night, the sky grants me another, my third dream. Then it's time to say goodbye. On the way back to Reykjavík, Iceland shows us once again how diverse it can be. We drove towards the rainbow, through narrow one-lane tunnels, and, as if waiting for us on the other side, snow begins to fall. A little farther on, the landscape looks like another planet. Back in Reykjavík, we finally got to visit the church, the city's landmark. We admired the largest pipe organ in the country. We ended our last evening at the Irish pub with a glass of red wine. I began this journey in search of what makes Iceland so fascinating. And looking back now, I'm truly amazed by the diversity of nature, by the mighty waterfalls that make you feel so small, by the vast landscapes where you can feel completely alone, and by the incredible calm that seems to linger everywhere. Well, Iceland has truly cast its spell on me, and I know one day I will return.